Hi, this is Chiro. There's been some significant news surrounding Nikola Corporation stock this week, so I'm making this video to summarize what happened, my thoughts, and how I've adjusted my investment strategy. If you're not familiar with Nikola yet, I've put a link to my previous video from August discussing my thoughts about the company and how that guided my initial investment strategy. So on to the news. In brief, on the 8th of September 2020, General Motors announced a $2 billion deal to build Nikola's electric pickup, the Nikola Badger, using GM manufacturing, batteries, and fuel cells. Nikola Corp designed the truck and saves on the capital costs of setting up their own manufacturing, and GM benefits through gaining electric vehicle regulatory credits, the $2 billion equity stake in Nikola, and the contracts to manufacture these vehicles. Nikola shares rallied 40% upon this news, as this was a much-needed dose of credibility from a major automaker. Just 2 days later, a short-selling firm by the name of Hindenberg Research, ironic given that one of Nikola Corp's claims to fame is hydrogen, released a report on Nikola. I've left a link to this report in the video description, but the main points to me were as follows. Trevor Milton has a history of misrepresenting valuations and technological advancements from his past business ventures, and Trevor Milton has similarly overstated the accomplishments and progress of Nikola Corporation, with the most outrageous example being that Nikola made a video of a fully working truck in 2018 that Hindenburg alleges to be a truck towed to the top of a hill with a gentle slope that was then filmed rolling down the hill. While hilarious, I do feel like there really must have been better and safer ways to stage a video. Again, there's a lot more to it, with evidence provided in the form of contracts, videos, and emails, but those are what I'd consider to be the main points. Trevor Milton immediately fired back, saying he would issue a rebuttal, before then saying the issue was taken to the SEC and that he wouldn't be able to speak to any of it until the SEC approves. Both the release of the report by Hindenburg and the lack of a material response has tanked the share price to about $30 as of the time of recording. Before I dive into my current thoughts and how I'm adjusting my investment strategy, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to see more content like this. While you're doing that, I'll remind you that I'm not an investment advisor and this video should not be taken as investment advice. My thoughts and opinions in this video on how to approach this company are from my perspective only. I am not sponsored or otherwise affiliated with Nikola Motors Corporation, Hindenburg Research, or any other long or short investment firms. My view is that Nikola Corporation has been and will continue to be a very sentiment-driven stock. Its valuation is a balance between current potential, which is somewhere between Trevor Milton's assertions and what we know is currently commercially and technologically achievable, and future potential, which appears to lie between projections of creating a hydrogen economy and being a fraud that is guaranteed to fail. The bankrupt threshold shown here represents Nikola's ability to be profitable in the long run, where being to the left of it suggests that bankruptcy will be realized sooner. In the end, where a person sits on these scales very much determines whether it's worthwhile to invest. While I want Nikola Corporation to succeed, I don't think they're currently capable of it yet, and that they have a lot in the way of reaching their future potential. Having said that, while it remains possible that Nikola Motors is a fraud, I don't entirely subscribe to all of Hindenburg's allegations, nor do I think that overstating the capabilities of a truck during the development stage necessarily means Nikola can't have made a lot of progress and eventually succeed down the road, even if this happens later than originally projected. What does concern me is that if Trevor has outright lied about big breakthroughs that he claims already exist, this would be a huge blow to Nikola's future potential. I believe that Nikola is priced as if they are guaranteed to be successful, and that the current stock price does not reflect the significant risks of failure at this time. Given how sentiment-driven the stock is, and how long I think the breakthroughs that Trevor promises will take to prove, the intent of my initial covered call strategy was to profit off the volatility of the stock without being exposed to excessive short-term downside risk. I have since exited this strategy because the report and Trevor's wait-and-see response has severely dampened short-term investor sentiment, and I do not want the success of my investment to hinge on the ability for Trevor Milton or Nikola Corporation to issue a satisfactory response in a timely manner. As such, my current strategy is no strategy. Boring. I am planning to wait this out until the situation is clearer, at which point I may reinstate another deep-in-the-money covered call position as per my original investment thesis for Nikola. However, I do believe Trevor when he says he can't divulge information while Nikola brings this to the SEC. So if you want to get invested, the question is whether you expect the eventual response to settle all of Hindenburg's important allegations off the bat. If so, buying shares at the current price of around $30 is certainly a good entry point compared to most of the stock's history. If you think the response will at least be satisfactory and are okay with missing out on significant upside, which I think is a reasonable strategy given how speculative the stock already is, At-the-money call options expiring in a few months were almost 30% of the share price. So doing a covered call and holding until expiry would be like buying shares for $20 in the worst case and selling shares for $45 in the best case. And my opinion is that compared to buying shares, this would only be a losing strategy if Nikola's response really flops, and that you would only really lose out on the upside if Nikola really blows expectations through the roof, for example with an official contract for dirt cheap hydrogen. Lastly, while I see downward pressure on the stock in the short term, I think the risk of a swift response and rebuttal and steep costs to short the shares do not make buying puts or selling calls a good choice at this time. I purposely didn't assign any gold stars or scores this episode because I think your personal beliefs in this company are really the only thing that can guide your decision here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Consider dropping a like and subscribing to see more future content, or check out my playlist of videos discussing investing strategies on other companies such as Hyliion, Arcimoto, and Electromechanica. In any case, have a great day.